Hello, I hope you all are well in your health and spirit. Today, our topic is Age of Industrialization, mean to say Industrial Revolution. In the 17th and 18th century, the merchants from the towns in Europe began moving to countryside. They persuaded the peasant and artisan to produce for an international market. The demand of goods is increased with the expansion of trade and colonies. The merchant could not expand production because of powerful guilds. Guilds were the associations of producers that trained craft people, maintain control over the production, make laws, fix price and quality. Restrictions were there for the new merchants, the entry of new people into the trades. Rulers granted them monopoly rights, so it was very difficult for the new merchants to set up their business in the towns. In countryside, poor peasants and artisans began working for merchants because open field system was disappearing. In previous class you have discussed about open field system and closure system. Again I repeat you, in earlier the poorer peasants depend upon the common land for their survival. They gathered firewood, vegetables, straw, rearing of animals, farming on common land was common practice of that time when there was an open field system. But due to the enclosure system, they had to look for alternative source of income. Merchants offer them advance to produce goods for them. The peasants eagerly accepted the advance. This is known as system of advance. Within this system, the poor peasants remained in countryside and continued their previous work along with the work of merchants. The income from the production for merchants supplemented their shrinking income. It also allowed them a fuller use of their family labor sources. This system developed a close relationship between towns and countryside. Merchants were based in towns, but work was done in the countryside. For example, a cloth merchant purchased wool from wool staplers and carried it to spinner, then to weaver, then to fuller, then to dyer, and the finishing was done in town. This was commonly in Europe, especially in London and in England. In fact, London came to be known as finishing center. The earliest factories in England came up by the 1730. The first symbol of new era was cotton. The series of invention in 18th century increased the efficiency of each step: carding, twisting, spinning, and rolling. Richard Arkwright created the cotton mill. Earlier, the production was carried out in scattered way, and costly machines, repair, maintenance were the main reasons for not use of machines on large scale. That is why, in order to save money, the wastage of time for the repair and maintenance of costly machines. The whole work done in scattered by by manual. But with the passage of time, the costly new machines could be purchased, set up, and maintained in the mills. Within the mills, the processes were brought together under one roof and management. This required a careful supervision over the production, a watch over quality, regulations of labor, and competition. The most dynamic industry in Britain were cotton and metal. With the expansion of railway in 1840 in colonies from 1860, the demand of iron and steel increased rapidly. The new industries could not easily established. At the end of 19th century, less than 20% workforce working in technologically advanced factories. The place of change in the traditional industries was not set up by steam powered cotton or metal industries. Small inventions were the basis of growth of non-mechanized sector such as food processing, building, pottery, glasswork, tanning, furniture making, etc. Technological changes occur slowly because of expensive technology. James Watt improved the steam engine produced by Newcomen in 1781. His industrialist friend Matthew Boulton manufactured the new model. For many years, he could not find any buyer of this engine. There were more than 320 steam engines all over England. Only 18 were working in cotton mills, 9 in wool industry, and rest in mining, canal work, and iron work. During Victorian period, there was no shortage of human labor. Poor peasants moved in cities in large number in search of jobs, waiting for work, and there is a plenty of labor. Wages were very low, so industrialists could not have any problem of shortage of labor. They did not want to introduce machines that got rid of human labor. In many industries, the demand of labor was seasonal. In Victorian period, the upper class of articraft preferred things produced by machines rather than handmade products. The same time, with the passage of time, there were better finished, individually produced and carefully designed goods comes to play. Machines made goods very fine and of high quality. These machines have a drastic result. First is the impact on life of workers. The, advan- the advantage of machines were taken only by the rich merchants. The, ad- the labor in the market affected the lives of the workers. Getting a job depend on existing network of friendship and kin relations. Many job seekers had to wait weeks, spending nights under bridges or night shelters. Some stayed in night refugee camps. They were set up by private individuals. The other went to casual wards maintained by poor law authorities. Staying in workhouse was very humiliating. Moreover, there was a very drastic effect on the lifestyle of workers, that the life of the workers become very hard when the machines work comes to play. After 1840, building activities intensified in cities, opening up greater opportunity of roads were widened. New railway stations comes to play. Railway lines expanded. Tunnel dugs, drainage and sewer laid rivers expanded. So dear students, read the chapter Age of Industrialization. I hope this video will be or audio will be very beneficial for you, and give me feedback. Have a nice day.